Hello, my name is Joshua Lay, and today I'll be talking about plate tectonic processes and landforms in El Salvador. Okay, so a little bit about El Salvador. In El Salvador, we have a small country in Central America, bordered by Guatemala, Honduras, and Nicaragua. And we can see where the different plates in the region come together. The Cocos Plate and the Caribbean Plate actually come together along a line in El Salvador, and that causes a lot of the uh, stuff we see having to do with plate tectonics in the region, such as volcanoes and earthquakes. And let's see, it's also slightly affected by the North American Plate and the Caribbean Plate, and whose interactions actually cause some small earthquakes which are experienced in the northern part of El Salvador. And we have a couple illustrations here to look at some of those points. As for tectonic activity, the main influence we have is between the Cocos and the Caribbean Plate. The Cocos Plate is denser than the Caribbean Plate and therefore subducts underneath it. And so because of that, we have the volcanoes and the earthquakes that happen a lot in El Salvador. And we see that just in a few of these pictures here. We have like the Sierra Madre Mountains, which is part of the larger chain that goes all the way through Central America, and the volcanoes along the southern part of El Salvador, especially along the coast. And that's where a lot of the stuff comes from, because of uh, the Cocos Plate melting, creating the hot spots, sending magma, lava up to the surface. And here on the right, we actually have a picture of the Santa Ana volcano, which we'll talk about later, and is a direct result of that process. And then a big part about El Salvador is we get to look at earthquakes and volcanoes. So they're very common in El Salvador. There's about 20 volcanoes in the country. A couple of them are actually active. We have the Izalco, which last erupted in the 1950s and was actually known as the lighthouse of the Pacific for the frequency with which it erupted between the 1770s and 1950s. And then we have the Santa Ana volcano, which recently erupted in 2005. And it didn't cause very many deaths, but it caused some property damage in the area. Looking at things such as gas clouds and lava rocks being thrown out. Then we have earthquakes being a big problem in the area, with 3 having occurred within recent decades. Then the big one in 2001, which killed almost 900 people, injured 5,000, destroyed a lot of property. And the big problem with it was actually landslides caused by the earthquake shaking loose a bunch of stuff. And for my RASP, what I looked at was an article that talked about the Santa Ana eruption and the relationship between the temperature of geothermal lakes and the correlation between that and volcanic eruptions. And what they found out was that the hotter the water is, the more likely the volcano is going to erupt. Thank you.